Hello, and welcome everybody. My name is Nora Zimmerman, and I am a soul branding and website designer and art director. And I'm here with Tina, Leslie, and Amanda, who have participated in the soul branding and website design group program recently. And we're just going to go round and see how the experience was for them. So I'm just gonna, who would like to start? Shall we start with you, Tina? Okay.
Did you say me? Yep.
Yes. Tina, I said yes.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so you joined the group program actually twice. The first time was, from the very beginning, and then there was this round was more of a refining. So do you want to tell us a little bit where you were when you started, and then, what has been happening through the processes?
So yeah, when I started the program, I was just trying to get myself out there in the public eye and have a way that I could direct people to some of the things that I do. And it has, it was such a great process to go through the program because it really made me go into a deep level as to what I really wanted to showcase, what types of services that I wanted to provide, and to really nail down that kind of core programming that it's a little bit harder when, I'm trying to move from one role into another, doing this kind of work. So for me, it was really to get my feet on the ground and to push the envelope as to what I really was trying to express and what type of clients I wanted to serve. So the initial part for me was developing that whole basis of where I was coming from. And it just really instilled, and I learned through the program really more about myself and what I really wanted to show people and to get my services out there. So yeah, it was very much a transitional process, the whole thing initially.
Yeah, so tell us what you were doing before, or what, the two careers kind of thing.
Yeah, so I've been in accounting. I'm a CPA by trade. I work in a corporate environment, and I was going to move into my spiritual side of the business, which was really my soul calling. And that is what really lights me up, and really have been in training and working, doing a lot of interning, I call it, working with people and getting a feel for how I wanted to evolve my spiritual coaching business. And that's really where it lies. So it's kind of was bridging that gap from getting out of my corporate identity and back into really who I was as a person and what I wanted to, again, show to the public and to draw in the type of clients that I wanted to serve.
Fantastic. So how have you benefited, or if you want to maybe share one or two, kind of results or things that you really noticed through the process?
Yeah, so by redefining the process, I was able to more articulate what my services were all about. And so then that was to enable me to obviously bring in different types of clients. And I'm seeing a direct change in the type of people that I'm working with. So that was a direct reflection off of the website and how it's evolved. So that was definitely a critical piece for me.
Oh, fantastic. So this readjustment, this realignment that we've been doing is bringing different people already.
Yes. Yeah. As soon as I started to change the name, the naming and the branding of it, all of a sudden I was attracting something different. And that makes sense to me as we were moving through the process, because I was moving into a different place in my life and really getting back to who I was at the core. So yeah, that was definitely it was immediate almost as soon as I started to change the name. So.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so pleased. I didn't know this. Oh, yeah, thank you. Anything else you'd like to share, Tina, about the program or your?
It's very much almost like therapy when you're doing the whole program, because it really showcases you. There's the great group support and the wonderful feedback, which really was a key component for me, because sometimes we get in these boxes where the people around you only tell you what you want to hear. And it really is important to get outside of that box and to work with people who are strong enough to really tell you what they think and how they feel about it. And that gives you a different level, a different perspective. And for me, that was really critical, was to have that constructive feedback. And so that I could really go deeper and to a deeper level.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I can't wait to see how it all evolves for you. Thank you, Tina. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Lovely. Hey, Leslie. Hello.
Hello.
I love all that look, the background and the colors in you and the hair. Yeah. So
Thanks.
yeah, you joined the program about, I don't know, 8-9 weeks ago. So tell us a little bit where you were and how you came to join.
Yeah.
And what
well, I've been in business for a long time doing what I do. Of course, that's evolved over time, but yeah, I've been doing this for a long time. I've had many websites over the course of all those years. And my most recent website was about 6 years old, and it was feeling really dated. I wasn't maintaining it. I wasn't updating it and like keeping the information fresh. I was kind of feeling this push-pull with it. Like, I want to be out there in the world for people to see me. I love my work. But I wasn't doing what was necessary really for people to know what it is that is happening. So I decided that I really needed an update. And what I love, Nora, when I talked to you, is that I felt like not only would I have somebody building a new website for me, which I've had many times, but this sense of having kind of more layers of support around that, and being able to get feedback about what I need to do on the website. So clearly the writing and all of that, it has to come from me. But I've done it in the past kind of in isolation with myself, write it out. And then kind of like Tina said, you ask somebody, how's that sound? And they read it and they're like, oh, it sounds great. So the process with you, it's been really enlightening to, first of all, I had this opportunity to just download and do a lot of writing, which you read and didn't always say that sounds great, which actually is really helpful, because you really helped me to discern more of what the pieces are that that people need to hear. And I think one of the biggest things that I've got, because I can be sort of prolific with my writing, is that I don't need to say it all on the website. And that's been hard. That's been hard. You've seen me struggle with that, like to pull back and take words out. But what's happened is that the potency of what's there feels so much more alive. And I love that. It still is hard for me not to add extra words. But this has also been an opportunity for me to, discipline myself. So that's been really great. And my website hasn't launched yet, but I feel really close to that. And it's very, very exciting. It just feels so much more in tune with where I am right now, where my business is, and with the people that I want to work with and to serve. So I'm very excited.
Wow.
And I got a little tear because I'm so excited.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I mean, it has been a big journey, you know, and a lot of people go through that big journey in that short amount of time because, you know, it's almost like, you know, reframing everything that you had already and then putting it in a container that feels really current and aligned. And it's also simple for your clients to use. Is so wonderful.
Yeah, I think that piece of like, I know what I do, and I was finding, but it's hard to express it because what I do has a lot of layers to it. And so it's hard to like articulate it on a more surface level, which is what people need in order to understand what the heck it is.
Yeah.
But while also demonstrating or like expressing the depth. And I think what you did with me too is to help me. And you know, it's I love doing the photo shoot. It was really fun and having some direction for it. And then for you to pull out the photos and, you know, it's a conversation. I appreciated that, a collaboration. But at the same time, you have this really keen sense of how to kind of hold the energy, even though the words are more simple than I might have expressed them myself, because I want you to hear all about it. So the words more simple, but you've said, and I really have experienced that the images create an atmosphere and hold the space for someone to, it's like they're visiting a place, which is actually what I want my business to be, my online business. It is a place that you come in to work with me. And I feel like the website is helping to hold that energy of the place where somebody can come and land and kind of take a deep breath and see, oh, what's here for me, without any pressure or feeling overwhelmed, so that they actually are invited to stay a little bit and see what happens. And of course, that's what we want on a website, right? Is for somebody to stay a little while, not just to land and launch. So, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely. In line as well with what you offer, which is called the Sanctuary. I mean, I've got to say that name.
Yeah.
It is a sanctuary. Yeah.
Can I just add, like, I love what Tina said about it's like going to therapy. I've done a lot of therapy in my life, and I would say that this is different in a way to therapy, that there's a very, you really support the possibility, I think, if someone takes advantage of that, of some soul searching that is really very beautiful and helpful. And I think you provide like just enough structure to help to guide that, but you don't interfere with it. So, and the best therapists also, know how to do that, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes there's more of that kind of back and forth. And I felt like the feedback that you gave was distinct and clear and potent, like, right on. It doesn't go on and on. It didn't create like more confusion for me, which my mind can kind of go into that because it has so much going on inside of it. So you helped to distill that rather than like, well, maybe just a little bit you added to it, because I've had to make some big decisions. I'm in the process of making some big decisions. It's been super cool. Yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. It really, really lands on me, and it just also makes me feel a little emotional. Thank you.
Can I say one more thing? I have so many things to say. So also, because I think this is something about you that I've noticed and really appreciated. Like, you have this softness, but you are tough. And I actually really like that balance.
Yeah.
Not to scare anybody away, because the toughness is really kind of wrapped in this very welcoming.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes, and if I could just say one more thing, and it's really about, Nora, your experience comes through in that respect, that mastery, because you're like, well, this is how this works, and you get us to look at it from that other perspective, the customer side of the perspective. And that's really needed, because we get so into our own heads and what we think we know. You have a really good way with, because you've been in this business so long, you really understand that piece of it, how to bridge the gap. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you. Any more that needs to be said?
I want to hear from Amanda.
Amanda, okay. So,
Okay.
where were you at? I forget now. We've been traveling together on and off. Amanda.
So I came to the website school, I think in 18, isn't it? 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, that was when I first joined through Jenny. It was Jenny who told us we didn't have a choice. that we had to go. So and I first did it obviously because I never had a website before. So it was about being visible. It was about being out there in the world. And it was about really accepting myself and who I was and what I do, because it was a very interesting journey for me. It was a difficult journey. I've been obviously I completed that, and I've popped in and out throughout, I guess, over the last year or two into different sessions and things like that, different schools and classes. So my journey was quite challenging in the sense that because of all the having to, I thought I knew myself, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and I thought I knew what I was offering, but I actually didn't. And until Nora gave us the words of the questions in order to answer and to pull that out, it was like, and I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you making me do? I don't want to do this. I don't want to be out there. That was what I was like. This is too much. This is too much, And so, like I said, it was a process where I evolved, and I grew into my own, and we always say within this work, to step into your power. But that was what doing the website school did for me. And I didn't realize at the time that that was what was happening. And so I sort of came kicking and screaming, as Nora knows, I was last to get the homework done. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to get it done. And then seeing it come together was just phenomenal. It was just absolutely amazing. And then so in being in the class, in all the different sessions, watching everybody else go through the same emotions and all of that, and knowing that you're going to be okay because you're in the safest place, you're in the best place possible. So that was what it was like. And even when it came to launching my website the first time, oh geez, I didn't want to launch it. And then when it launched, and obviously it's a brand new website, so when I'd go online and Google it, it wasn't there. And I'd be thinking, well, where am I? Where am I? Why aren't I seen? Why aren't I there? And then I'm thinking, because first I didn't want to be there, and now I am there and I'm not there. But it was such an emotional process, but it was a wonderful process. So throughout the years, and Nora has this way of knowing you and finding you where you are. So it doesn't matter where you go to hide. She comes and she gets you. And she just came and got me one day and just said, you know, you need to sit in the, I remember the word she said, you need to sit in the throne of your business, and you're not sitting in the throne of your business. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah. And we went over the website and she says, we need to, you know, maybe you need to go in, you need to update, you need to have a look at your website and see what's happening there. And we need to start going over and looking at things and updating it. And I didn't even know that what it was, but it was. It really, really was, because I had changed. I had changed so much. My work had changed. How I was delivering my service and who I was, what I was doing, that had changed. And, you know, you had recognized that, you know, Nora. And so we began the journey again. And I've been inside, I've dipped in and out of a few people's like sessions and classes to see what was happening, what was going on. As I dipped into when Tina, when you were doing, I jumped in on there. That was why I jumped in to see what was happening, and loving the process that was happening with people, the process that everybody was going through, what they were doing, the whole creative spirit, and how people were really expressing themselves in the world, because that's what your website is. That's you, you know what I mean? That's you in the digital world. That's you being out there in the world. It's that extension of you. And so that was my journey. And just like how you said, Leslie, like Nora has a softness, this beautiful softness, but she has this toughness, this firmness that was so much what I needed. It was really what I needed. And so, because it gets me, you know, because I know that I'm loved, and I know that I'm supported in all the different aspects. And so I know whatever is suggested or whatever advice is given, it comes from the soul, it comes from the heart. So, and so it's been an amazing journey for me, all of it, you know, and to where I am now, you know, looking at what everybody else is doing as well, and the support of everybody. And it's very, very true in the sense that being here in the class, you know, that that when you're being given advice and support from everybody else, it's not personal advice and support. It's not for it's what, do you know what I mean? Everybody's looking at it because we're all wanting the best for each other, and we're all wanting, and we can all see where it's going, and to see everybody transform along the way, it's just amazing. It just really, really is. And so it's been great. I look at my website now, but even now, I think now, oh gosh, when I see what some of you guys done now, I'm thinking, I'd like to be tweaking it a bit more. And I want to do this, and I want to do that, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a really, really, it's been a great journey that allows me to sort of grow and develop all the time. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, does this say me? Is this me? Is this what I'm doing? And is this how I want to be seen out there in the world? And who is it calling and attracting, you know? It was interesting because if I could just throw this in, that I was in I was in an accidental class, accidental workshop on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. I thought it was supposed to be the one that was yesterday. So it's Wednesday's one. So I think it's all sort of new people coming in and explaining how the process is and how the process works and things like that. I think that's what it was about, isn't it? About being
Workshop.
Yes, yeah, the workshop, the energetics of it and everything like that. And one of the things that Nora said that really, really resonated is that having your website as your shop front, and that represents you, and that people come through your website and you're telling them everything that they need to know before they get to you. So in a way, it filters out and it brings to you who is supposed to be in your space, you know, and that's what it does. And it really does do that. Because I noticed the difference, as I was saying in the class, between getting a referral via phone call from somebody, which is always great. I always, you know what I mean? It's always amazing. But when you get somebody that comes to you via a phone call and they haven't been on your website, they don't really see what you do. It takes a lot to have to go through it all, and then you have to sort of almost vet them and filter them out. And you also then have to make them safe to work with you. And when they go through your website, you're establishing that safe space, that sacred space for them, so that when they choose you, when they press that button to make that connect with you, they've already made the decision that you're where I want to bring myself to. So and that's what your website does. So yeah, and I'm seeing that firsthand. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. I love that feedback. And I just love also how much ownership you're all taking, how much babysitting you're doing for your websites, how much you want to nurture, what you say and how you communicate, and how it lands on people. And paying attention to those things is what really creates, that kind of circular energy, between you, your gift, their needs, desires, and, what happens in between all of that. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. And we will continue our journeys and chatting very soon.